Alrighty, welcome back to another ICT concept video, part 3. This is part 3. Today we're going to be covering market structure shifts. Pretty simple concept. I would say this is one of the ones on the easier side. And this is one of the ones that you don't really trade off of just this, but it gives you an indication that I will explain in a little bit. But yeah, so today's going to be market structure shift, ICT concept video, part 3. Let's get into it. So let's start off what is a market structure shift in the first place? So a bullish market structure shift is when after a sweep of sell side liquidity, there is a break in a previous swing high, creating a market structure shift. Or if you watch videos, you'll see people make a line and it just says MSS, market structure shift. A bearish market structure shift is done after a sweep of buy side liquidity. There is a breakthrough the most recent swing low, same thing as bullish, just revert and then creating an MSS or a market structure shift. So let's go over this example right here. As you can see, we have a bearish market structure shift right here because it taps through this buy side liquidity, which is this line right here, and you have a move to a displacement to the upside, and then you have a move to the downside, right? Okay, so after it breaks through this swing low, that would be considered a market structure shift right at that zone right there. And a market structure shift is when market is shifting into that direction, right? So after you take buy side liquidity, you are now going to be shifting into a sell side zone, right? So wherever you're targeting on sell side, you can look to take things in between there. Pretty simple. Okay, let's go over and look at a bullish example. So here is a bullish example of a market structure shift, right? So after a sweep of the sell side liquidity, maybe a retest like right here of the second time, you start to see a market structure shift, right? These are just things that you can indicate, or I think there might be an indicator on TradingView itself that has ICT concepts. And if you do use that, which I used in the beginning, and I still use it now, but I only have two things checked that it shows, which is market structure shifts and volume imbalances. So I only have those two things checked for what it shows. But yeah, so this is a bullish market structure shift. Obviously, we took a sweep of the lows, and now we are headed to the upside for upside momentum. Now, let's get into how to implement a market structure shift, right? So just like the rest of the ICT concepts, a market structure shift cannot just be used by itself. There really is no way to just enter based off a market structure shift. There is, but you kind of have to be more on the advanced side for that. Like I already have been trading and established with these concepts. Like even ICT himself says, he'll take entries off of just basically seeing that shift in structure in a candle close, whatever it is. But that's not something I would say do right away. I'm going to show you kind of a cleaner way to get entries. So the ways you can use it are to pair it with the other two things that I have taught you so far, which are breaker blocks and fair value gaps. I will give you some examples of how to pair these three concepts together and give you very precise entry points, right? So if we go over here, we have our bullish example right here. Okay, now look at this. Look at what price is doing right here. You have a bullish market structure shift, right? Because it's the last swing high. Okay, so a bullish market structure shift. Oh, what is this? Hold on. Oh, yeah. That's fair value gap, right? It's trading into that fair value gap. So you have a market structure shift, and then it trades back into a fair value gap. Okay, trades back into a fair value gap. Boom, entry point right here. This I would say is an even better entry point in this zone right here. What happens here is on the market structure shift, not only did you take buy side liquidity, you created another fair value gap here, but not only that, you also have this breaker block right here that price taps into, creates a fair value gap, then taps into order block, and then taps into the fair value gap. And then you can proceed to enter off of that and then work your way to the downside. I would say what's it called? I would say that market structure shifts are something you're going to want to start implementing as soon as possible and practicing, looking at them. If you just go and backtest in your charts, or even just go back and look at the charts, every time you see a sweep of a sell side zone, you are going to see a market structure shift on that swing high, whether it's the last swing low, paired usually with an order block. And sometimes what will happen is when you do have that market structure shift, it'll be a pretty big displacement, then creating multiple fair value gaps or one big fair value gap, and then those give you really precise entry points for optimal risk to reward, which can be very very useful. I'm going to be honest with you. I would say starting out really like I'm going to continue these concept videos, but I mean these are very very simple things that you can start implementing literally in tomorrow's trading day, right? You can go from a market structure shift from bullish, bearish, whatever it is, and then implement an order block, and then implement a fair value gap. Literally, that's three confluences that I just showed you right there that worked perfectly, right? You tap into an order block, okay? Do you see a fair value gap inside of the order block? Okay, you wait for a tap of that, because most of the time, what does price want to do? Price is going to want to fill imbalances or inefficiencies, whatever you want to call it. So these are just a few examples. I will say that having a market structure shift is definitely it's going to change the way you look at the markets and what direction it's going into, because once you see that structure shift, you're going to, after watching a video like this, if anybody is watching this, what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to see the market in a different way, and then once you see those structure shifts, you're going to be like, boom, okay, now I have bias, now I have entry points that I'm going to look for. But here's what I want you to do here's what I don't want you to do. What I don't want you to do is see a market structure shift and then immediately enter into a position. If you don't see a fair value gap, if you don't see a breaker block, right, or it doesn't tap into the breaker block, or it doesn't tap into the fair value gap, do not place that trade. Listen to me very carefully. If it doesn't happen to a order block, and if it doesn't tap into a fair value gap, or just either one of those in by itself, do not take a trade. Okay? Just stay away from trading that, because then that's not an optimal entry point, right? You can even go to ICT's videos. He says the same thing himself. Those are not optimal entry points if you're just entering because there was a market structure shift. I promise you, you're not advanced for that. If you're watching this video, you are not advanced enough to be taking trades just based off of market structure shift yet at all. So with that, I will leave this board for you in the description below, like I have done for the past two videos, because I want you guys to be able to look back at this. I'm making these for you, right? These are for your benefit, okay? Anyways, these videos are for your benefit, okay? Like, it's not for me. These boards, they're also for your benefit, okay? So anyways, with that, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I have another video to make tonight. I just made a video. This video will be posted tomorrow, but for those of you who are watching tomorrow, check out today's video, which will be yesterday's video tomorrow, obviously. It was a very good trade recap. I would say I gave a lot of really good pointers in there for people who were maybe in just starting out and certain positions and things like that. But yes, so I hope with that everyone has a great rest of their day today, because I know it'll be tomorrow, which will be Tuesday. So I hope everyone has a great rest of their Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your day, whether you're in school, at work, watching this, whatever it is. Have a great rest of your day, and I hope everyone had a great trade in the morning. And with that, I will see you all in the next one.